All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's November 2nd, actually, Thursday. Recording this on Thursday. So the in-season tournament actually starts tomorrow. And those of you who are not familiar with it, I have I'm sharing the screen right now, so you can see all the groups. And basically, how this is gonna work is they're gonna play 4 games. Each team's gonna play the 4 games in their group. The best team in that group, the best, win-loss record. I think there's also some tiebreakers based on, like, how many points you scored, point differential. And I think the last tiebreaker is actually your regular standings. And of course, these games will count as regular season games. So, teams might as well try, basically. That's basically what the NBA is betting on. That teams will, hopefully try. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually. Like I said, it starts tomorrow. So the games will be only played on Fridays and Tuesdays in November. The funny thing is, it's called an in-season tournament, but it's actually just like a November tournament. It's just like a November tournament with like the Final Four with the Elite Eight in December. So basically, like November Madness, I guess you could call it, for the NBA. So yeah, let's get right into it. Some of these groups look really interesting. I think group is based on some seeding based on last year. Um, and like teams are put into pots and separated and then picked out. I guess maybe they'll do more, uh, be more clear or be more like transparent about the drawings maybe in the future, like how soccer does it. If you're not familiar with Europe, like with the Champions League, they draw each teams from each country, put them in a pot, and then those teams play each other for a championship, for like a trophy for a championship. Basically, what this is as well. They're playing for in-season tournament championship, in-season tournament cup, as they call it, the NBA Cup. Some of the courts are pretty interesting. If you're into that, a lot of different color courts. So you'll definitely know if you're watching an in-season tournament game. Like I said, it's only Fridays and Tuesdays in November. If there's any game on a Friday or a Tuesday, it's an in-season tournament game. Like tomorrow is the first round of in-season tournament games. I think this Tuesday there's no in-season tournament games, and there's no games on Tuesday. So it makes sense. Like, if you're watching on Tuesday or Friday in November, then you're going to be watching an in-season tournament game. But yeah, like I said, let's get started. Group A, you got the Grizzlies, the Suns, the Lakers, the Jazz, and the Blazers. For whoever's not able to see the visual, maybe you're just listening. So obviously, the Grizzlies got off to a bad start. I think they're 0-4 right now, and are struggling on offense. Really, obviously they're missing Ja, they're missing Vernon Clark, they're missing Steven Adams. They got like pretty much a bunch of bad news right at the start of the season. Of course, Ja they knew was going to be suspended 25 games. Um, and then Smart has come in, not really making much of a difference on the offensive end, as you would expect. But yeah, 0-5 actually. That's crazy. 30th in offense, 22nd in defense. So um, I don't think anybody will be picking them to top this group. Like I said, you got to top this group. Each group has to be, only the first place team will advance, and then 2 wild cards. So you got to win your group, or you got to become, the 4th or 5th best team in your conference, basically, based on record, point differential, all that stuff. So yeah, in terms of the first group, Phoenix Suns probably look more interesting than the Grizzlies. Lakers, had a good win against the Clippers last night, still gelling together as well. The Jazz look all right on offense. Actually, they're doing well on offense. Markkanen's been going off. Oh dang, I thought they're worse than I thought, actually. They're 20th in offense, 26th on defense. Um, but they've had some tough schedule. They lost to the um, they lost to the Clipper. No, sorry, they beat the Clippers, actually. Um, they lost to Denver and they lost to Phoenix and they lost to the Kings. So 3 good playoff teams. So hopefully Booker's plays at least 3 of these games, 3 of the 4 of the games. Maybe Beal plays 1 or 2 of the games. For me, I'm looking at the Suns to advance out of this group. Like I said, the Blazers, of course, they're struggling as well. Although they beat, I think they beat Toronto and they beat somebody else as well. Um, Let me just look that up real quick. Yeah, they beat Toronto and they beat Detroit. However, Detroit was missing, Jalen Duren. Uh, if you didn't see my last video or a couple of videos ago, I was talking about the Pistons, and then they lost 2 games in a row. So, but, a lot of injuries, a couple of, Alec Burks was missing. But it's pretty interesting, the Blazers, like I said, it's just part of the regular season, these games in the in-season tournament. So, I'm expecting the honestly, it would be between the Suns and the Lakers for me, and I would probably lean towards the Lakers just because they're more healthy right now. We saw the Lakers and Suns play already, although Suns made it a close game. Lakers took control in the fourth quarter, and the Suns pretty much only had KD trying to create some offense, and he almost carried them to that win. But for me, I'm looking at like I said, the Lakers probably to top this group. Hopefully, you guys can see the circle right here. Oh, pretty bad circle. Let's try that again. That's a better circle or better you know s- indication that I picked this team. But Group B, I'm looking at the I'm looking at the okay, so it's Nuggets, Clippers, Pelicans, Mavericks, Rockets. This is a really tough group, actually. I mean, of course, the favorite is the Nuggets. Um, oh, I see how they did it. The Nuggets were the 1 seed, the Grizzlies were the 2 seed, right? And the Kings were the 3 seed. I think this was the 4-5 matchup. I remember from last year, Suns Clippers. Warriors were 6 seed. Lakers were 7 seed. I think Pelicans were 8. Yeah, Pelicans were 8. Timberwolves were 9. I think Oklahoma City was 10. I kind of see how they did it. Okay, so one out of every three, basically. One of how they did the seeding from last season. What I'm talking about. So, anyways, you got the Nuggets, who was the first seed. Clippers, who was the 4 5. Pelicans 8 9. Then Mavericks, were I think were 12, and then Rockets were 14th to 15th with the Spurs. But this will be a tough group. Um, Clippers, obviously, adding James Harden will be definitely be a factor. Nuggets are the favorite. Like I said, got off to a good start this season. Just dropped their first game of the season against the Wolves, but it's whatever. It's just like 1 game out of 5 that they dropped. They look like they're just coming right off that playoff run, um, where they looked excellent. Uh, Obviously, winning the championship in June, so they'll be probably the favorite for this whole tournament, if not for the conference, for the group, definitely, if not the whole tournament. And then I'm looking at the Clippers. I'm looking at the Pelicans. Dallas, I'm not sure if they can play enough defense. Although Grant Williams has been a big addition. I think he hit like 6 or 7 threes last night in their win over the Bulls. But they still look like they're struggling a little bit. They're missing contributor at that 3 spot. They're trying to they're trying out Derek Jones Jr. I expected some more Josh Green minutes, some more Tim Hardaway Jr. minutes, but maybe Jason Kidd just right now is just experimentation, uh, which is interesting for this tournament as well because teams are definitely not at their full potential, full performance. You know, all guys are not in shape, not in fully in regular season form. So you're still seeing a lot of inconsistent quarters. You're seeing a lot of comebacks. Um, so yeah, it was the Wolves, right? Yeah, the Wolves blew like a 20-point lead to the Hawks, ended up losing by like 15. Who else? The Bucks just blew out the Raptors. Sorry, the Raptors just blew out the Bucks. So there's been some interesting results so far, and a lot of like comebacks, like I said. But um, Pelicans look pretty good. They beat OKC last night, another comeback. Um, and Zion looks healthy. He's attacking the rim. Um, However, they still need to find a balance of like when do they play Herb Jones, when do they play Jordan Hawkins. Herb Jones did a good job on SGA last night in most of the possessions that he was guarding him. But it seems like they still need to find that right balance. And then Ingram got injured again or was out. So um, they need all their guys healthy. But the team that I'm looking at in this group is probably just the Denver Nuggets. Seem the most dependable team to perform in these games. And I don't know if I'm sure if I mentioned this, but they're going to play 2 away games, 2 home games. So, you know, I feel like the Nuggets will win at least three of the games, probably against Houston, Dallas, and New Orleans. Um, just because those teams don't have enough offensive fluidity or chemistry together yet. I think the Rockets, they look improved this year, but they still need some more jumps from Jabari Smith and Jalen Green. So they're still not a complete team, and they're still not ready to compete with the big guys like the Nuggets and the Clippers. Um, like I said, the Clippers could win this group. Probably give it like maybe like a 60% chance to Denver, 30% chance to the Clippers, then probably even more. Probably like 70% Nuggets, 25% Clippers, then 5% split probably between the Mavs and the Pelicans. But yeah, I would be surprised, I think, if the Nuggets don't win this group. So yeah, let's go ahead and circle them in. Try my best. Looks pretty good. So yeah, that's Group B. Group C. Now we got the Kings, the Warriors, the Wolves, the Thunder, and the Spurs. Okay, so this is probably the most competitive group so far in the West. All these teams are pretty good. All these teams look pretty good, except for maybe the Spurs. But even the Spurs, they beat they had a close game with the Mavs. They beat the Suns, the KD Suns. Obviously, no Booker, no Beal, but still a good win for them. They're still figuring things out as well. They're staying trying Jeremy Sohan at point guard, so they still have some chemistry issues, some lineup issues. So Pop is still experimenting this early in the season. A lot of fans overreact, but at the end of the day, the coaches are going to experiment till about February, even maybe even March, until they finally set their rotation. And then a lot of these guys that are playing are not even going to play, in April and May because the coaches just shorten their rotation. They don't even play like more than 7 or 8 guys usually. If the team's not that, if those guys are not that good. Um, but yeah, in this group, the Kings and the Warriors, I think they've already played twice. And I think the Warriors have beat them already twice. Um, I think so, right? Yeah, they lost to Golden State in the second game. And lost to Golden State last night again. So Clay Thompson game winner last night is actually. But yeah, for me, the Warriors are probably the favorite in this group. Then probably the Kings, then the Thunder, then the Wolves, then the Spurs. Wolves still look discombobulated as well. They're still not fully functioning. I think they still need to upgrade their point guard. To be honest, I think they should try to get Tyus Jones, somebody like that. Mike Conley's not. I don't think he's good enough, and they still have the Gobert Towns problem that they're trying to figure out as well. And the Warriors and Kings will probably just feast on those, pick and rolls, motion offense, so much against the Wolves that I don't think Minnesota can really compete with those top two teams. Um, Oklahoma City probably the dark horse in this group, but uh, Warriors just have too much experience for them. They're still trying to figure out, Chet at center. They still go through some weird, times on offense where they struggle to find some good shots. They're just trying to like move the ball around the perimeter, and the defense is not, in motion enough to, to make a seam for the Thunder to attack. So they're still relying a lot on Shea and Jalen Williams, and of course Jalen Williams only in his second year, so it's a pretty heavy burden on him to try to carry some offensive possessions. Warriors and Kings, that's pretty tough. For me, I'm just gonna go with the Warriors. Steph Curry looks great again. He's been getting like 35, 40 every other game almost. He's been hot from three. Clay and Wiggins still haven't played their best, but they're still a dangerous team with Draymond and Looney, and they still have a great starting five. So for me, I'll probably go with the Warriors over the Kings. I could see the Kings winning this group, if not making the wild card, being one of the wild card teams. So maybe I'll pick the Warriors, and maybe I'll just circle them both because I think they'll both be in that conversation for the wild card, and one of them will probably win the group. One of them will probably win the group as well. I'll try to do this circle again. It's hard on a laptop with this trackpad. as for the fifth team, one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, actually, no. I think it's only 8 teams that advance, right? So maybe it's just one wild card. One wild card from each conference. Let me just look that up real quick. I think it's actually. I guess it is eight teams. So yeah, it has to be one wild card only. Okay, yeah. So it is only one wild card position. So that's gonna be tough between the Kings, the Clippers, probably the Suns as well. Maybe the Mavs as well. If Luka stays hot as he has in the early season. But I guess I'll stick with the Kings right now. Maybe the Clippers. Only problem is the Clippers have to play the Nuggets. I think they have a. Yeah, who do I feel more confident in? The Kings beating the Timberwolves, the Thunder, and the Spurs, or the Clippers beating the Pelicans, Mavericks, and Rockets? Maybe I'll go with the Clippers instead, just because I think they have a little bit of a easier group with the Rockets and the Mavs. Um, so yeah, maybe I'll go with the Clippers, and maybe they'll go hard for the in-season tournament. It seems like something the Clippers would win, right? Seems like something while they're healthy in November and December, Clippers go all out, win the tournament, and people are all excited for their playoff run. That eventually gets derailed by injuries, but don't want to put any give any bad luck to the Clippers, but uh, that seems like a reasonable thing that can happen. But I think for the East, Sixers. So the first group is Sixers, Cavs, Hawks, Pacers, Pistons. Um, Obviously the Sixers off to a hot start. Maxey looks great. He looks like a potential All Star this season. And then Embiid looks great as well. So and then they added some shooters as well. They added Covington and Batum. Still, see if they make a move. Maybe they make a move for Zach Levine, OG and Anobi, Malcolm Brogdon, somebody like that, Jeremy Grant. Depends how much salary they're willing to put in. But I think the Sixers will probably top this group. Um, and Cavs have injury issues right now. Jared Allen's out. Darius Garland's out. Hopefully they're back soon to make this a more competitive group. Um, Hawks were good as well. Hawks, Trey Young, DeJounte Murray have gotten off to at least DeJounte has gotten off to a hot start. Even though they're still only 3-2, they've looked good in their most recent games. And their 5 out lineup, kind of their 4 out lineup with the starting DeAndre Hunter, starting Jalen Johnson, who's been a good. I think it's his second year, right? So maybe he's a sophomore. Maybe it's his third year actually. Yeah, it's third year for Jalen Johnson. Must have not played much his first year at all, but yeah, he looks improved. He looks, fits right into that, power forward spot, athletic, can shoot the three a little bit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Jalen Johnson. Looking forward to seeing, maybe one of these teams can upset the Sixers and get into that Elite Eight. Um, like I said, so yeah, Pacers. They just let up 155 to the to the Celtics. Um, Halliburton looks good though, so maybe catch some teams off guard in this tournament. Point differentials matters as well for that wild card spot, for that fourth spot. So that'll be big, big. So you kind of have to have a good defense. You kind of have to play hard until the fourth quarter, even if you're losing, because you might, be able to get that wild card spot if you're, second in your group compared to the other second place teams in the other groups in the conference. So, Cavs, any of these teams, I think Cavs or Hawks could probably make it a tough group for the Sixers. But for me, I think I'm probably leaning towards the Sixers. Um, Maybe Embiid, tries to go hard, tries to get a trophy, That would be interesting. It's always interesting to see who's actually going to take it seriously. Which player is LeBron going to go all out for the in-season tournament? Probably not. But the Lakers have an easy group, so I picked them anyways. And especially if Booker and Beal are unhealthy. But Hawks, Hawks could go on a run. Maybe if they get hot. Cavs could go on a run if Mitchell gets hot. If Garland comes back soon. I'm not sure when he's coming back though. But for me, I think the safe bet, like I said, safe bet is probably the Nuggets in this group. Safe bet in this group is probably the 76ers. So I'll stick with the 76ers. Oh, come on. Let's draw a good circle. Close enough, maybe. That's close enough. Next group, we got the Bucks, Knicks, Heat, Wizards, and Hornets. Um, Heat have actually gotten off to a pretty bad start. This is probably one of the easier groups of the whole tournament. So I'm guessing it's going to be between the Bucks and the Knicks. Um, Miami doesn't look that great so far this year. Let me just look at their defensive rankings. I know their offense has been okay, with Hero playing well. Bam's been playing well as well, although he missed a couple games. But okay, so they're 24th in offense, 18th in defense. So yeah, I mean Butler eases his way through the season as well. So we'll see how hard he plays in the in-season tournament, because you pretty much have to win at least 3 of your 4 games. I'm guessing to win to get you top of the group. You're not going to go 500 and get top of the group. So you got to win 3 of the 4 games. So can they do that? I don't know. We basically, most teams have played, 3 or 4 games already, if not 5. And, most of the NBA is around 500. A couple teams have 3 wins. Boston's 4-0. Dallas is 4-0. So, and Memphis is 0-5, and Miami's 1-4 right now. So those are the two of the worst, worst records right now. I should say, not 2 of the worst teams, but 2 of the worst records. But Knicks and Bucks have been slowly, coming to the season slow as well. I mean, they just got blew out by the Raptors, I think, like I said before. So yeah, Knicks, I could see them playing hard. Tibbs plays hard. Tibbs teams play hard. Actually see them winning this group. But if it comes down to point differential, I could see them definitely getting that wild card spot, because they could blow out the Wizards, they could blow out the Hornets, and increase their point differential. And get 2 easy wins from there. So I think I'm going to take the Bucks. I'm going to take the Bucks to win this group, and um, maybe I'll just put a dot right here. Just put a line right here right now for the Knicks, as I'm leaning towards them in my wild card prediction for the Eastern Conference. And then the last group, we got the Celtics, the Nets, Raptors, Bulls, and Magic. Um, Celtics obviously look great. Like I said, they're 4-0. Great offensive, team right now. They pretty much look unstoppable in that end. First in offense, ninth in defense, best net rating. Um, yeah, so they look great, averaging 127 points per game. I don't see any team coming close to them in this group. Maybe the Nets, if they get hot, if Cam Thomas gets hot in one of the games in the game against the Celtics, something like that. Cam Thomas or Mikal Bridges gets hot, and Simmons playing well, but it seems like you need too much to go right for the Nets, um, just to top the group. So I think obviously the easiest answer would be the Celtics. Regarding the Raptors, Bulls, and Magic, they're going to be toughing it out for that 3rd spot. Maybe I would assume, 2nd or 3rd spot, maybe, if they can beat the Nets. I think one of the most interesting games would be the Magic and Raptors, or Magic Bulls. Those will be really interesting. But if the Celtics are already like 2-0, and all these teams are like 1-1, then I don't know how close the group is actually gonna be. Like the Celtics could easily go 4-0, and I could see all the other teams going like 2-2 or something like that. Basically, all beating up on each other because they all have pretty similar teams, and I could see any of them beating the other team. Like I could see the Magic beating the Raptors. I could see the Raptors beating the Nets. You know, Bulls. Zach Levine gets hot, something like that. They beat them. They beat maybe they beat the Celtics. I don't know, but it seems like the easy answer is the Celtics, and that's what I'm gonna go for. As for the wild card team, it's probably gonna be between Cavs and Knicks. Um, Knicks beat the Cavs, I think, a couple days ago, and then Cavs beat the Knicks. They both won on away ground on away stadiums. Like Knicks went to the Cleveland and won, and then Cavs went to MSG and won. So that'll be interesting to see uh, who has a better record at that point because they're pretty similar right now. Let's see the Knicks defensive rating right now because they didn't really start the season off that hot. They lost to the Pelicans, lost to Boston, lost to Cleveland. Yeah, see, they're 26th in offense, second in defense. So, like I said, Tibbs, that's like a classic Tibbs team, Tom Thibodeau team, and net rating 15. So, like, just about average. And then Cleveland, if they can get Garland and Allen back, they could definitely be better than the Knicks. But the Knicks, for me, I think just because of the group, and if it comes down to tiebreakers, and I think point differential is one of the main tiebreakers. They could be beating up on the Wizards, the Hornets, and potentially beat the Heat as well. So I guess Heat and Knicks will probably have 2 wins for the Wizards against the Wizards and the Hornets. So I'm looking at these two teams, but for me, I'll probably just go with the Knicks. Seems more dependable. They seem to know what their lineup is already. With Brunson, Grimes, R.J. Barrett, Randall, R.J. Barrett, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson. That seems like a more of an easy pick for me. So there you have it. Curious to see what the seeding will be when it comes down to the Elite Eight. I'm guessing it's based on, like I said, wins and point differential and all that. But if it's a knockout tournament between these teams in the West, that'll be really exciting. And knockout tournament between these teams in the East will be really exciting as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys think is the favorite right now? I'd probably say Boston, or Denver. Seems like the easy answer for the favorites in each conference. Who knows? Maybe OKC goes all out. Maybe, hopefully we get one of these surprise teams like Sacramento. They play hard like pretty much every night. Maybe they can sneak away with a wild card maybe in that group or in that conference in the Western Conference. So maybe the Warriors don't take it as seriously because they're trying to gear up for the playoffs. But uh, it's the same thing as regular season games, right? You're just playing for an in-season tournament now. So all these games count towards the regular season, all these group games, and even the Elite Eight, and the Final Four game, I think counts towards the regular season. The only extra game would be the championship if those two teams play. So they'll technically play 83 games this season instead of 82. But every team is going to play 82 games. Even the teams that get eliminated from the group, they're going to play each other on those days when there's no quarterfinal or semifinal game. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for this tournament? Yeah, you guys like this idea? Do you guys wish it was more teams, like more teams going to a knockout? Like I feel like yeah, maybe like top two in each group advance. I don't know how the seeding would work then, because then you have 12 teams. Maybe you make it like a round of 16, so you get top two in each group, and then 2 wild cards from there. So you have 8 teams, and then you have 8 teams from there. So then it's just like a Sweet 16. I think that would be exciting as well. And I think also it would be more exciting. I think if they did intra-conference, which I'm not sure if they're doing this year. Uh, Obviously, they're not doing it this year, but maybe not till the Elite Eight. Um, but intra-conference groups, I think that would be exciting as well. because then you get more of a variety of games and more interesting matchups, not just like the most Western team. It is all Western teams play one Eastern team, twice basically, one home and one away. Like the Lakers, um, come to the Magic this week, and they just played the Magic a couple days ago in LA, so they're not going to play the Magic at all for the rest of the season. So, and sometimes people miss games and stuff like that. So, I think that would be more interesting if the groups were maybe a little bit more mixed between East and West. But yeah. Anyways, I'm excited for this tournament. I mean, I think it'll be really, it'll really kick on once the Elite Eight starts, like the actual knockout single elimination games. That's when it really starts. But for November, um, those courts are crazy though. I don't understand the reason behind those. Some of these courts. I think you could just have the trophy in the middle and leave it at that. Under the logo. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.